Nakamoto, and today we're gonna be focusing on a pump that is one of the cleaning solutions. Uh, Handful of students have requested to build this, and although it's a pretty technical cap to build, um, I think it will be a pretty interesting piece to build as well. This is actually not going to be part of the class assignment or testing, or we're not grading on this one. This is just something that might help you um, polish your modeling skills. So we're just going to use that just as simple as that. The Sprite project is the one we're going to probably wind up using as a test. But let's just focus on this for now. Here's my preview. Oh, wait a minute. Disappear on me. Where is it? Oh, 1 second. Let me just bring all the elements back. Okay. Here's my preview on a model that I just built that I will review. This is probably going to be a few videos just to build this. The outer shell is the one that takes the most because it's pretty organic looking and it's pretty time consuming. So with that, I just also want to show you some of the samples, like something that I found in the house, and I actually basing this bottle. Here's the front view, and here's the top. As you can see, it has like some sort of chamfer edge on top, and it has a little bit of a round here. It's hollow inside, and so on and so forth. So we'll do our best to build something that looks similar to this, or really close to it. Just because of time, I'm trying to come up with something that I could actually accomplish with a good amount of video time, right? The first thing we do is we take some snapshots, and what I did is I brought this into Illustrator, like the front view, and draw it all out. As you can see here, I drew the front view, drew the top view, saved it as an image instead of a path this time, just because it's pretty complex to build. Once I got into Photoshop, I actually divided the front and the top. I saved both files, went into 3D. Let me just move this aside, remove these things aside, and in the front view of the interface, I dropped the image just like we've been doing with everything else. I dropped it in the middle of it, and I went into the top, grabbed the image top, dropped it, and if you see the top, dropped in. I named them front and top, otherwise you get confused. You make sure you name them. And with that said, I started the project, and the way I started, as you can see here, I have everything in different layers. It's the inside, so here's the body. As you can see, kind of just went up and around. So let's let's get to it so we can have some fun. Okay, here we go. So I got a new layer. You could easily just start by just dragging square. Or you could use this other tool and just create a polygon, and then just kind of like select the bottom vertex. Make sure it aligns here. Grab the other one, make sure it aligns down here somewhere. That should be good enough. And just like we talked about, select the edge Z, so you could clone the edge, extend it, and just so you guys know, just space it. Edge extended is also right here. Edge. See here, extended. So you could go to edge and just click on that, extrude, or but if not, you just click on C and just clone it. Same here. Do that once again, and you just follow this bottom path here. There we go. See again. Follow it. In fact, you can just take this all the way to the end here. We'll just add the other one in a second. Rip this vertex, move it over here. Here we go. just want to get rid of this texture thing. Locator. Alright. So with that said, I'm just gonna grab this, move it down here, move this down here. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna move it all the way down here, and this one as well. So now the only thing we have to do is fill in the gaps. Select a couple of the, before we do that, let's just make this just a hair straight. Alright. It just helps when, you know, when we have the polygons aligned correctly. It just makes things a lot easier to work. So now we'll divide this into one. Loop slice, hold C. Put one in the middle. Just make sure it's one count. Trying to make this and grab this vertex on the far right, move it to the middle, and this is just so you could help build that curve. Let's just move this dot, not this vertex, right down here. Alright, so now with that, move this down a little bit to make it room. We're gonna add another line of another edge right around here, maybe another one down here. So let's select two polygons, Control C, Option C, slice. Right, and then we'll do that again. Right. See? So now you have. Maybe we'll do. See, if we click, we put another one here. Yeah, let's do one more here. And at least now we have like decent amount of polygons. Maybe with the one in this middle, we need probably more real estate here, more information. Okay, so now we're good. So now with this, what we do is we're going to select this edge here, this top edge. Alright, click C, bring this up, scale, rotate, you know, R for scale. Grab this green handle. As you move it, see on the y-axis, just put 0. So it's 100% flat. Bring this down very close to this edge over here. Alright. Now let's just move this right here. Okay. Now you select this whole entire edge. And if you remember the cap, like this part bevels in. So if we on the top view, see how it bevels in, right? So what we're doing is we're actually gonna have this part. Let me see what will be the best thing. 1 second. Okay, I see. This is straight. Let me see something. Oh, before we do that, let's select everything and just move it to this line. There you go, because this is what we're gonna align it to. So we'll select, instead of selecting the top, let's select all this information here, but the top. Leave the top alone, and we'll go to the top view, right? And then we're gonna go in here. You're gonna see something called fall off linear. You grab it. You bring it all the way to the end here. Let's just move this like right there. The way this works is like we want some of the information to move, but nothing here. So this specific area, what it does is that giving you an indication that when I move, it's called a fall off. When I move, I want everything from here, the wider area, to move down, and then as we taper in, nothing to move out, or less and less. to nothing. So from here out, then nothing's gonna, from this blue point over, nothing's gonna move. Slowly here, more there. So when you click W, here we go. See what's happening? The bottom piece starts to shift over, right? And this is good enough. And then space, escape. And then when you look up, see now you got that chamfer edge, right? So you see the chamfer edge, good. So now we again grab that edge, go to the top view, click Z, bring this right to the middle. Yeah. Space bar, escape. Now what we're gonna do is first we're gonna look around, go, okay, what's going on here? That looks good, maybe not. I think we're probably like in a good position right now. And what we're gonna do is turn these off for 1 second. As you can see now, we have pretty much half of it built to some degree. It's, you know, we gotta polish it up and whatnot, but at least you can see. So we go back to the top view, go to mirror, let's go to wireframe, duplicate, mirror, let's go to Z. Okay, so now we move this down, merge polygon, just over here where you see merge. As we're doing mirror, make sure that merge vertices is selected and it just increase this. And as you can see, once you start moving, they kind of watch. So it just snaps right on. So you make sure that they all snap, because you just want all those points to merge. Then spacebar, and then you go back to perspective view, and then reflection. That's reflection. Now what we do is actually this is what we're gonna do. We actually gonna create polygons so that we need to close this whole area. So let's just click this polygon here. This, we're skipping that one. We'll go back over here. That's 3, 4. So now we select 4 point. Click P. But when you click P, just create a polygon, right? And then we'll do the same thing here. Click 1. Second one, 2, 3, 4, P. So now you got polygons on both sides. Double click on the edge. Now deselect this edge, deselect that edge, and go to basic, bridge. And these are all gonna merge together, as you can see there. Now we need to add like another we need to add a loop here, and then we had to like well, the polygon once we get the loop here. So what we do is we select these guys, at least 2 of them, option C again, make sure it's set to 50, boom, and select in this join. You're gonna see in the bottom here it says 2 vertices. Make sure it's selected. Then you go to vertex. Okay, where is it? Join. Click on join. This dialog is gonna pop up. Average, keep, and just say okay. These 2 now are joined. So if you click, see now everything is joined. Mesh. Let me just increase this so that you can see the quality. So we actually pretty much have the specific shape built to something. I mean, at least this part of it. We just gotta sharpen it up. So let's go and look in the front again once again. So we go to the front. There you go. And you know, we might have to adjust certain things. For instance, sometimes when you're building, certain things kind of like shift a little bit. So then you come back here and you can zoom up, select some of these, at least 2 of them. Move these up a little bit, right? Leave that alone because we had to sharp that one. Select these 2. just so that you could align within reason. I mean, this is just like leave this alone because we're gonna sharpen that one. Okay, so now we save. Don't forget to save. So now that we have that done, the next thing to do is we gotta build the inside of this, because you know, if you look at the sample, I'm hoping you have one of the samples with you. They all have like a thickness. This is like a wall. Everything inside here is hollow, and then the pump goes in the front. So there is we'll name this and we'll call this like body. You know, and I'm just gonna just hide the ones that I have. I guess I'm gonna throw out something from previous. Okay, I'm gonna create a group and call new, because this is something I'm working on for you guys, and it's a new one. So then I'll clone this command, right click, duplicate. And when you duplicate the duplicate one, it's just gonna be right on top of it. What we want to do is deform it and go to push. So you push, you get really close to it, and you push. What you want to do is you want it to offset so that it's some sort of a thickness. Some, you know, for now, for this particular one, we're just gonna kind of eyeball. So we just want to offset it so that you have a thickness. It's thick enough. You know, it has like the thickness of the wall. And I'm gonna click F for flipping the polygons, because this is gonna go inside. This is gonna be the inside part. The only thing is, like, sometimes when you do certain things like this, like you push, you just click on these edges, you know, it does some wacky stuff in some of the edges. So I'm just gonna push that as well so that you can meet. If you look at the left view, maybe let me check that right. Yeah. Okay, let me just go back to perspective. It's kind of hard to see. I'm just gonna push this the other way, so that it's just a little tight. So it looks out straight. I mean, you could leave it as it is. We'll adjust it later, but it's just so that it's not, because when I scale it, sometimes those edges pinch. Okay, so now let's copy this, bring it into the body, paste it. Make sure you turn this clone off. So now it's totally off. You have inside and outside. So now just select all the edges, the outside and the inside edge. Go to bridge, which is on basic, all the way down here, bridge. Just click on it. And if it doesn't work, something went wrong. So let me just check why it's not responding the way it should. Let me turn these off. Oh, let me see what's going on. Should be able to bridge. No, it's doing some wacky stuff. Okay, you know what we'll do? We'll look at everything. Sometimes it could be like, what I do to resolve that is I'll select to make sure 1, 2, 3, 4 polygon, and then I'll just do the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4 polygon, and then I'll do like sections. So I'll click here, deselect this one, deselect the other one. Oh, how do you deselect the other one? So you just click Control while everything is selected, and it will deselect. So Control deselects some of the edges, and Shift will add them back. So remember that Control deselects and Shift adds them back, and then we go back to bridge. Click on it, and you see that actually worked out. So try that again on the rest of it and see if the problem is resolved. If not, then we'll do it with another section. We'll Control. Let me just go to bridge again and see what happens. Okay, this time around, did it do it? Yeah, okay, so there was some wacky stuff going on. Now it's all right. With that said, what you gotta do now is select 2 of these polygons. Option C, make sure you have a 2 count. Click on it. Move this to like 10 and then the other side to 10. Or just enough so that it just hugs some of the area. 90 and 10. Space. It deselects everything. So now we have a nice edge here. So you see you have like a nice thickness to this whole thing. Alright. So we go back here and we're gonna align to the front. Obviously now the one thing we have to do is push this back, and what else? Make sure that this is okay here. Alright. We're gonna try that on this too. This has to come down. Okay, so let's try this out. So when you go to match here, right now we're using what is called subdivision surfaces. So you click on tab, goes back and forth to subdivision surfaces, and in order for you to, like, if you zoom up to have things a little bit more polished, you click plus, or you go to the subdivisions here and you just put, like, let's say 2, and when you do that too, see how it becomes very sharpy or not as sharp. The more subdivisions you put here, right, the cleaner it looks. Now Modo has and Maya and some of the others have another level of subdivisions. It's a lot more intense, and he does a lot of different things too, and it's called Catmull-Clark subdivision. So we're gonna work with this, and it might be a little confusing at first because you click and tab to get here. To get to Catmull-Clark, you have to click Shift Tab. So Shift Tab brings you down here. So you set this to 4. Set them to 4. See? And what we want to do is we want to sharpen this edge, because if you remember the drawing, like, this whole entire edge here is pretty sharp. Except for here, we don't want it to be sharp right here, because it's already sharp here, as you can see. So what we're going to do is actually select this whole entire edge. Go to the top view, right? We again fall off linear. We want everything from this point forward to be sharp, and then everything here to be smooth. So under texture, okay, it's not texture, it's vertex map. You're gonna go to edge weights, select edge weight, click on it, and you're gonna see on the left hand side a weight number. This one says 13. The more you push into it, the higher the number will increase. And you see how sharp it gets, really sharp. Let me go to perspective real quick so you can see it. You see how sharp it is. We don't want it to be that sharp, and you see how smooth that's over here. So we just want it to be just, just a little bit. I mean, well, you see it here. It has a little bit of depth, but still sharp. And then you use escape, space bar, escape again. All right. So now we're gonna do the same thing with these guys here. The top piece, this piece, right, and this piece here, because these are actually creating like some sort of like shape. If you remember looking at the top view, let me bring in the top view image. Let me just actually make this wireframe. So let me back up the drawing that we did in Illustrator. Let me show you. See the top views. So, well, I made it really sharp here, but the actual product that I have in here is a little softer. So I'm gonna try to make this a little bit sharp. So if we go to back to model, we go to reflections. Oh, let me just shift. I gotta select this edge. Oh, I forgot to put the lineal. So here we go. Lineal. Alright, let's go into perspective. Oh, let's go back to the top. I forgot one thing. Gotta bring this all the way to the edge. This edge, because this line and this line and this line is gotta be equally as sharp in this area, and then he's just gonna fade into nothing. So we go back here, we save this again. We go to vertex map, go to edge way, and click on it, and you see it gives you a nice. So you can play around with it a little bit. So it gives you a nice soft, sharp edge over here. Stay strong towards the end. Escape, escape, space bar. So now, if you look at, see what's happening. So you have, it looks nice. It has a nice sharp edge and so on, right? So now what are we missing? This down here. Down here, the same deal. I have to actually select this whole entire edge. And we go to the front view. And we go fall off. Well, fall off is a really great tool. And again, the fact that I'm introducing it now and I'm using it a lot is just to show repetition. And I think this is the way you learn to appreciate this tool. And then you fall off. Again, this has gotta go up because I don't want nothing to happen from here on. I want it to be sharp here, right? Maybe up to around there. And then you're gonna leave fall off on vertex map, edge weight, click on it, and you see how it, just a little bit straighter now. Okay, I have it on 30. I don't want it to be, just want it to have just a little bit, because I still want to have a little bit of a soft edge. So, escape, space. So now you have, let me just give it a material name. I have a clay. So if you go into, let me just put the scene so that and the camera. Let's just click on. So you see how it's quickly built, and it has the nice chamfer edge. If you want to make these a little sharper, we could, not a problem. Let me see if I can move this around a little bit so you can see it. Okay. So the thing about this is like these edges could be adjusted. So if I want to go back here, I want this just to be just a hair sharper. So when I go back on the top view, let me make sure that I'm good here. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to come back here. Okay, top view. And then again, fall off. It's going to be your friend from now. I want this white area here is an indication, again, saying that more here, less there. Go to perspective view. We'll go to vertex map, and then we go to edge weight, and just make it a little bit sharper. So when you go here, see, you want even more, so keep pulling. See. See, now you have sharp edge, right? I actually gonna make it just a hair less because I just like when the light hits and reflects. So go from escape, escape again, space, and here you go. You have a nice. This piece is. I think this piece will be good enough for what we need. If you go into camera, let's just bring it here so that we can look at the camera view. See, it has all the nice quality. Let's just move it around. Again, all these nice qualities. So now let's just put let's go to the front view and let's build the nozzle. Let's bring in the front view. right? So we have, oh, there's one more here. So let's just make sure that this actually is the same. Fall off, linear fall off. More there, less here. So no need for having more here. So actually, I don't mind it to be right up to here. Okay. But definitely a lot more here. Alright, so now we go to vertex max, edge way. It's actually not doing much here because I guess this edge is way too high. So in that case, let's just escape. Let's just undo. Let's just add a line the traditional way. For this particular one, we're just gonna add. Select a couple of them, option Z. Make sure you get one count. And just drag it down. Right? Like that should be okay. Make it just a hair up. And then over here we'll do the same thing. Let me just check real quick on tap. Alright. Shift tap. Let's just add one more here. And just push this way. And that should actually resolve this problem here. Fix that. This could be adjusted, but it's so minor that I won't even bother with this part. Let me just see what it looks like in the wireframe. You want to grab this to be more detailed, oriented, just push it up just a hair, and there you go. So everything's starting to match. We got this beveled in. Save it, obviously. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna build this piece really quickly here. And that should actually at least gives you a feeling of like the. Let me just bring this to reflection. You get a good idea of what this will look like once you do that. So I'm gonna actually go into the front. Let's go to the right view real quick. Make sure that looks good. Okay, let's go to the left. Okay, so if you see in here is what we're gonna be building that little piece. It's kind of hard to see, so I'm gonna go into the front view, hit new, click cube, and then just drag it out. In the perspective view, turn off the image here for a second. Move this over. Let me see now. Alright. That looks like it should be there, okay. And then just look around. Extrude, click on that, extrude it all the way in. Look at it from the top view. Move this a little bit past the size of the body. Let's go to wireframe real quick. Let's look at the top view. Okay. So I noticed one thing here. Let's go back to the body real quick. Alright. Let's just move this just a hair. I think somehow I shifted off. That's fine. Just want to make sure that looks good. This edge, I just want to make sure it's right in the middle. I mean, we're not gonna mirror anything anymore, but okay. So now this piece, we just want to adjust it from the top view. We just selected 4 vertices, you know, from top and bottom. So now at least this aligns. All right, and then let's go into reflection. So if you see this, it has like a. Let me just put it in the front view too as well. You see, it has like a bevel piece. So just click bevel, bring it down. I don't know. It looks like this should be down. Like this part look like it's lower than the top. So let's just move this down. Make sure it aligns here like that. You know, just you could take your time. Even if you feel like you're off, you could always scale here by just clicking R. Click R back and then just click V for bevel. Push this in. Alright, let's go to the front view. Do you see here? When you push this in, you notice how it actually moves, shifts that way. So there's several ways you could actually make that adjustment. You know what, let's just do the simplest way. Click these vertices here. Move them over. Move this and move this up a little bit. That's just the easiest way, believe it or not. So now, if you look here, and then on my particular unit, which I have an image of it somewhere. Let me see if I have it in my. Okay, I don't have it. You're just gonna have to take my word for it. But this actually bevels, bevels in, and you got like a little bit of an edge. So let's just turn this off for a second. All right, bevel. It has like an edge like that, and then it goes in. So bevel again. Bring it in. So that's kind of, and then he had like a circle thing with like a little sprayer thing. So with that said, what I'm gonna do for this one, so you know, to just expedite things, I'm gonna go to the front view, select all the edges. Oh, wait a minute, before we do that, let's adjust this. Let's bring this inside part straight, and this one, when I beveled it, I just didn't realize that. All right, here we go. I just want to bring it so it's like the thickness of the wall, and then we'll select all these edges. Select all the edges, go to perspective, go to reflections, and just click R. No, B for bevel. Bevel. Make sure that the round level is to 2. And just kind of just give it a little bit of so that, you know, it has a little bit of soft edges all around. Okay, space. And now when you click tab, it just, you know, material. I'm using this clay for now. So you have the body. Let's just actually get this a little tighter in. Just bring it right on top of it. And let me check just to make sure that, okay, it looks like it needs to be scaled. Let's scale it up. Is it from the size? Yes, from the size. Let's just scale it from the size. So it just covers it. It's like little things that in the rendering, it just looks a lot nicer. So let's do it again a little bit more. So now when you look at it from this angle, it looks a lot nicer. So let's just go into my preview. Oh, where is it? Where do you go? Open preview, rendering. Here you go. So let me first go to the camera. Actually, I could even do it from here. See. Okay. So now you have. I mean, I'm gonna double check again with my my drawings to make sure that it's as close as possible. So let's go back to the front view just to make sure. Front view. Yeah, that's pretty close. You got the top view back on, yeah, a little less, but that's fine. Let's go back to this. Okay, so now what we gotta do is let's go in. I'm gonna call this spray area. And let's build the nozzle, which is the inside piece of it. Let's just turn the body off 1 minute. Left. And go N. Click a cylinder here. Try to scale it to some degree, right? Make sure it's just make it even. Let's make it 730. Well, however you got going on, make sure that the Y and the C is pretty much the same. And when you go to your right view, I mean front view, this piece in here because it goes inside of this nozzle. Now I'm actually using 10 size. I think that's more than enough because otherwise it becomes really difficult. And what I'm about to do is I'm going to create like a little spray area here. And the way you do that is like you bevel. Right now I don't have a drawing for it just because just use imagination. If you had to do it, you could actually draw it in detail, bring it in, and just follow your path. But for this particular project, I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. You know, you have like I have like several different levels of beveling. They kind of go in and out like this. All right, and then this goes up, and again, up again. And I mean, it just gives it like some pretty cool looking detail, to be quite honest. And then it just goes in. You know, and then you start to kind of, it has like this little dome piece here. So what I'm doing is like just kind of like working myself towards it. See, click, some sort of dome. Do it again. There you go. And then I'm gonna bring this down. And that's pretty much it. I'm just gonna sharpen this edge here by double clicking the whole entire edge, B for bevel, spread it so that you can have a nice soft edge here, and then click this edge in the outside of here, this one, the top part of this piece. And you don't have to make it this way, you could just create anything you like. This is kind of the way mine's look. And then just soften this edge, and then just click B, done. The bottom of this I don't need because we're not even going to see this, so you could delete this. And when you click on tab, in the subdivision, let's just click 4, and this is actually regular subdivision, so you can mix Catmull Clark with sub D's. Let's just make sure that this is good to 6, and give it a material, clay. And I just want to see how it looks. So we kind of like, looks like I gotta move it a little bit to the middle. Just kind of looks like it's inside of it, you know. All right. So no, wait a minute. Too much. And then you bring this out just a hair. Look at it. Let me just quickly look at mine, and I just realized that mine, let's just go to the front view. It actually follows the shape of the, so just rotate it a little bit so that it follows the spray area. There you go. So now let's quickly look at it on preview. So you have this nice detail that it just gives it that additional. I mean, I think the opening is a bit big, so let's just make that a little smaller. Otherwise, you're gonna waste a lot of material, a lot of cleaning solution. So we could just scale this as large or small as you want. Bring this up so that you can have that dome effect, and then just kind of quickly look at it. I think it should be smaller still. Yes. So let's just go back. Select the bottom polygon, shift, arrow up, keep going. Sometimes I forget that. Okay, scale. Move this up. Now, if you look at it, that's small enough. That looks pretty good. I mean, we could put text on it around it, but I think for this exercise should be fine. So now let's just move this around so you can see. Okay. So that should work great. Let me just pause this, and I'm just gonna build a nozzle. And that should end it. You know, once I build this piece, I think that should probably cover this part of it. The rest of it, we actually, like, I will build this in this video, this bottom piece, but since we already have built something similar to that, then you can refer that to the previous tutorials. As far as this piece, I'm gonna build it just to kind of add it into it, and let's do it. All right, so right now we got this. This is the spray. Group it. Call that the spray, right? Forgot the R. Spray. Bring this up. We got the body. What's down here? That's the inside. We don't need this, so let's delete these. This is the body group. Body. We're just gonna turn these off real quick for now, and then we're just gonna a new one. Make sure you're on wireframe, and I'm gonna try to show you kind of like a different way to kind of like rush through this, just so that you know, not per se rush, but short way to do it. You create a rectangle space, rotate it, rotate Z. There you go. Okay. Then select this vertex, move it this close, then kind of move this one right here. And to be quite honest, I think this should be a little bit higher because it goes inside. And then what you could do is just make this flat by scale and bring this to 0. Fine, it's okay. So it's kind of like it. Then here you go, shift C, cut this right in half, and shift C again. Grab these two, move them right here. Move this one right here. Shift C again, right here. Shift C. Move this right here. Move this right here. Let's just move this over. Actually, let me move this edge. Right? I guess you guys probably have an idea now what I'm doing. It's just kind of like simplifying. Shift C. Right? Grab these two vertices, move them, align them. And now you grab this again, move it here. Move this to align it. Shift C again. Right? Move this, just align them so that to some degree follows that path. This one right here, just click this edge, Z, move it over here, scale it, right? W to bring up, or to make it straight, make sure it's on X0, W, and then move it back to like this location. Should we actually select all of these edges and bring it down? Sure, why not? Just move this over. Move this over this way. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna extrude this, and we're just gonna kind of eyeball this for now. Right. Or you can go to perspective, turn this two things off. Go to reflection, click on everything, extrude, just move this over just a little bit, just to see, okay, and now we, let's go to the body real quick. I just want to see, put this inside, and then on the left hand side, put this in the middle. And mine, if you really, let me just put them all together on and double click on it. Mine is, if it doesn't fill the whole entire area. If yours does, you could, but you could just scale it out once it's in the middle to wherever you think yours is. And that should be, to me, that's probably good enough. Right? And again, I go to the right view here, mesh. Select all. Let me see if this works actually. I'm not even sure if this part is going to work. I'm going to just try this. Okay. Not all of them. Wait a minute. I was going to edge. I just need to bevel this. Bevel these edges here. This one right here. This one. And this one. Let's see if this works. That's all we need. B. This actually didn't work because of this edge. Alright, so we got another way. We're gonna use the Catmull Clark. But before we do that, let's just add a couple of vertices in here. Option C. Add two. Actually make it 3 so we have 1 in the middle and 2 on the other edge. So kind of like that. Just so you could build. This is just hold the walls together nicely. And on this one, we're just gonna put 2. So when you're in the front view, and you're looking at the front, it's following the path good, except for here, which we're gonna fix now. The way we fix that is option C. And actually, we could use a wave map too. But let me see how this works. Let's just add 1 and just bring it up. Okay, that works. Select a couple of these. Option C. Bring it down. Let's just add another one on the top of this. It's straight. You're not gonna see this part, but just to let this one here. Make 2 of them. 1 on one side, and 1 on the other side. So I think this will probably do it. And we'll adjust these. And the way you adjust these is like you're in here. Now that you're here, you grab the vertices, just pull them back to your drawing. As close as possible. Like in here, you just try to do this way. Okay, let's just move this in. Okay. So you see now everything's kind of aligning nice. Same thing with this one. Just make sure it's smooth. So it follows the path to some degree. It's good enough. And I just like the fact that it's soft. You could always add more. Let me just turn this off real quick. Like for instance, this edge. If I want this edge to have a little bit of a sharp edge, just option C. Make sure you got 1. And just move it just enough so that you can have a little bit of some information, but still sharp. And then do the same thing with the other side. Okay. Now, and so when we look at this now, let's add the material, clay. Got the body and the spray. So if you look at the so now you have the entire pump. The bottom piece is a lot pretty easy. The guts inside, just a bunch of spheres and things like that. But overall, you have a good idea what this thing would look like and model. I mean, if I move this around, you see how it has like a lot of nice features. I mean, like the inside of it is all the guts and stuff, depending on which one you have. Um, I'm gonna supply a model that actually had some of the guts that I built, and you know you could use it if you like, or just play around with it. It's just basically a bunch of spheres, cylinders. So with that said, I think we could call this particular pump a little. We could call it a day here. So I'm gonna upload this in a few minutes and send you a link with the models and things like that. That it's gonna help you at least build this. If you have any questions, please email me. I'm gonna get ready to work on this Bright tutorial, but I think I think this was an interesting um, project to work on. All right, thanks again, guys. Bye.